Well, the 4-day Investing in African Mining Indaba has ended in Cape Town with concerns from the alternative mining about lack of community consultation. There was a march yesterday at the venue under the banner Environmentally and Economically Sustainable Mineral Economies in an Era of Climate Change Catastrophe. We are now joined by David van Wyk from the Benchmark Foundation, and you were part of that march that took place. David, what was the message that you were trying to send?
Well, the message that we were trying to send was that we wanted to see more responsible mining taking place in Africa. We had representatives from all Africa, and we had representatives from trade unions, international trade union movement, civil society and so on present as well. And we're concerned that first of all, we see that a transition is taking place away from coal, and there's no involvement of communities and also workers in that transition process. We are also concerned that we need to transition gold because many gold mines are shutting down all around us. You know, we've got 6,000 abandoned mines in this country, and more mines are just shutting down and walking away from their responsibilities. They walk away from their social and labor plan responsibilities. They walk away from their environmental impact responsibilities and so on as well. The very big corporations sell to smaller corporations, and the smaller corporations find that they cannot take, they do not have the finances or the expertise to take care of the environmental issues and also of the social issues that are associated with mining in this country. And we really need a tightening up in the mining sector in this country to avoid the tensions, the conflicts and the tragedies that take place.
But then what does that tell us about the role of the Mineral Resources Department?
It's a very good question that you are asking, because we think that the Mineral Resources Department should be a regulator. It should not be a promoter of mining. It should be regulating mining. It should be setting the legislative environment and the regulatory environment, and it should see that there is mine health and safety and adherence to environmental management plans and social and labor plans and so on. At the moment, it would seem as if the department is a promoter of mining rather than a regulator.
And we've heard the remarks even from President Cyril Ramaphosa saying that mining is not a what did he say, a sunset industry, it is a sunrise industry, and this has been reiterated by the Minister of Mineral Resources as well. And then when you look, for instance, in the integrated energy plan, mining still plays a crucial role, especially fossil fuel.
Well, we have concerns about that, because fund managers and investment management agencies come and see us, and they tell us by 2025 all the big mining companies will have left South Africa. And we have got community monitors in coal mining areas, and the mines are shutting down left, right and center, because what international insurance companies and fund managers are saying, they will not be liable for investment in coal if things go wrong. So they're withdrawing their money, and they're also withdrawing their security if there are accidents, if there is acid mine drainage, if there is pollution. As we are speaking, there are more than 30,000 people a year who get sick from inhaling the gases and so on emitted from coal energy in Mpumalanga. And there's a big court case going on against Eskom, against the Department of Mineral Resources, and against coal mining companies in that area.
And this specifically in relation to the failure of meeting the targets, the emission targets?
Yeah, exactly.
But didn't they get a special reprisal?
Well, what we are concerned about is that the big polluters can ask for exemption from the law, which is a real problem. You know, if I drive at 140 kilometers an hour, I will be stopped. I cannot say I have exemption from the law. We should not allow polluters to have exemption from the law, because it's a cost to society. It's costing us billions in terms of health and so on, to fix people, to fix rivers, to fix the environment and so on. And mining constantly externalizes those costs to society. It has to be done more responsibly. And I disagree with the minister when he says renewable energy is more expensive than fossil fuels, because as we speak, we have calculated that we can save the country something like close to 100 billion a year if we actually shift to renewables, and we can retain the jobs.
The debate then, where some people would argue around why fossil fuel is more reliable, is that the sun doesn't shine every day, there's not wind every day.
Well, if we say fossil fuels are reliable, how come we're having so much load shedding with fossil fuels? You know, why are we having this crisis? Every time it rains, Eskom can't provide electricity. You know, so clearly that's a nonsense argument. In any case, for the solar energy system works with backup batteries. So you load your batteries during the day, they run during the night. Next morning you load your batteries again. And you do combinations of energy. You do wind and solar together, or you do solar and gas together, or you do combinations so that when the one stops, the other one kicks in. You know,
but
at the moment it's diesel and coal,
Yeah.
and diesel is hugely expensive.
Is it possible, though, to supply the energy-intensive industries like mining, for instance?
Oh yes, definitely. I also think that we're not using our mines creatively. You know, the 6,000 mines that are closed in Germany, they actually use the old mines to generate electricity. You can generate electricity by pumping the water up and dropping it down back, and it runs turbines. Or in ultra deep levels, you can use geothermal energy because it's very, very hot down there, and just the heat inside the mine can actually run turbines and so on. There are so many creative ways, and we have had meetings with the Council for Scientific and Industrial Research and German scientists about this, looking at all the different alternatives. And there are even scientists in South Africa, for example, at various universities who have looked at the possibility of using these mines to generate energy for the communities around them. You can turn Soweto into a solar farm by replacing all the asbestos roofs with solar roofs, and then let them feed back into the substations of the mines that were all in the northern part of Soweto. And instead of being electricity consumers, these people become electricity producers. And the 1.4 billion rand debt that Soweto has can be paid in that way.
Do you think then, as a country, and now of course also taking over the chairmanship of the African Union in Ethiopia, where for instance the government there is looking for alternative energy, and with the Renaissance Dam, that let's probably ask, shouldn't we be going this route as well?
Well, I think so. I think that Zimbabwe is closing down its coal mines as well. We should be doing that, and we should be looking at the alternatives, and they're not more expensive than coal and so on. At this point, coal is really becoming impossible because the funds are drying up. The Norwegian Sovereign Fund, which is the biggest investment fund in the world, has said they will not invest in coal. The World Bank has said they will not invest in coal. You know, so, and Merkel has just said Germany will help us with renewables. So why don't we take the opportunity?
And we have even local financiers saying that they will not be investing in coal as well. Let's quickly just quickly touch on the impact on communities and what this impact has been like for communities over the past few years. We heard when the last time when we had former President Robert Mugabe in the country, what he said and the phrase that he used, that we cannot allow companies to come and leave holes in our countries.
Well, you see in Soweto, for example, if you go to Meadowlands, if you go to Diepkloof and so on, everyone is suffering from respiratory problems, and that's the dust that's blowing off the old mine dumps. So there's a huge silicosis case to be made in the communities. You know, we've just had the silicosis case with 500,000 mine workers. That case can jump to communities saying we also want reparations from these mining companies because they're poisoning us.
Yeah, is it possible?
It's possible, very much.
Okay, then. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
I'm David van Wyk, Tepiso, over